Tampa Mystic in the building. What's going on? What's going on?
And I'm in the building. What's good, man? It's your girl Tampa Mystic out here in ATL checking in. You know, industry's most wanted. You dig?
Yes, indeed. This is what we do. She here in full effect in her busy schedule to be here live right here on the Underground Lounge because we be lounging, Tampa Mystic. We be lounging, we be chilling.
I'm lounging, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm here with you tonight.
No doubt.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We here recognizing the indie artists and do what we do. Tampa Mystic have a hell of a catalog. Her work ethic is stupid, retarded. She been doing industry's most wanted, as y'all can see in her background. You see the logo. You know, in the podcast. She also an interview guru like myself.
Awesome.
And she do that. And she also is a blogger. She get her blog on with up and coming artists around the area worldwide, putting them in the game. And she's a radio personality. She worked on the radio station. She been doing her thing from New York City to ATL, all over traveling, getting that bag. And she also a promo and the marketing executive for these up and coming artists. And you know, and last time I had her on the show, I had a radio show.
Thanks.
On Blog Talk with IBP. Before we was IBP, with a different name, and now he expanded to the podcast. And we touch bases on a lot of things that a lot of artists need to know to present themselves. And let's give them a recap on that. Would you expect an artist to be professional, to bring a package to you, be like, yo, I need to do something with this artist and all that? You know, tell them what they need to do and tell them the do's and the don'ts pretty much. You know what I mean?
What's up, though? But you know, like he was saying, there is a lot of do's and don'ts when it comes to doing business, not just with me, but for any professionals out here. But you know, we'll speak for me per se. I have a lot of artists that come to me. They want to either interview with me, they want to get promotional packages. I do the blogging services. I do single servicing to the DJs. I do a lot of different stuff. But my whole thing is when you come to me, just come professionally. You don't have to come to me and say, what's up, beautiful, hi, sexy. Like, you ain't got to do all that because that instantly like makes me think that you coming at me a different way. You get what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to butter me up because it's not going to help me give you a lower price or none of that stuff.
Right.
You know,
we got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got bills to pay. And the thing is, too, when you come to me, try to have somewhat of an idea of what you're looking to do and have somewhat of an idea of what your budget is, because I don't know what your budget is. I don't know what your monthly bills are. People be like, well, how much is it going to cost me? I'm like, it all depends on what you want to do. So I always tell them, try to figure out, you know, after all your bills are paid, how much can you afford to spend each month? Is it $100? Is it $500? Like, I don't know what people's expenses. So, you know, the main thing is just come professionally and try to have some sort of idea of what your budget is, because then I can put a more solid package together for you when I know how much you can spend.
Yeah, right. Definitely. You know, I'm also into the game too. I'm a marketing manager. I'm also a music manager, and I also do this here. And I've noticed, you know what I'm saying, what I hate the most. I hate when artists give me links in my DM.
Don't do that. I don't like that either, because a lot of times they'll send me a Spotify link. I don't even have a Spotify account. I'm an Apple girl.
Right. Even they say I'm a title man, but even if you send me a title link, I'm not going to click on it because I don't know you.
Right.
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Right. Especially if there's no introduction. If they just dump a link in there, I'm deleting it. Period. Point blank.
Right.
Have some time.
Or they say this. Check out my music. Here's the link. I'm like, well, what? I'm like, you introduce yourself to me. You didn't tell me anything you got going on. You didn't give me a small bio on what you got going on. I mean, you don't give me none of that type of thing to be like, okay, this person, this group, or this artist, R&B artist, rapper, whatever what they doing, trying to put something together.
Right.
I like the bio. I'm gonna check the bio out. I'm gonna read the bio and see what you got going on. I'm not going to click on the link right away.
Right.
I might put it to the side, follow you, and see what you're doing.
Absolutely. I'm a big I'm big on checking out people's Instagram too. Like if you are an artist, if you're an up and coming artist, don't have a page full of like memes and stuff like that. If you put something like that up, that's cool. Throw it up for a day or two, but take it back down. Keep your Instagram neat and tidy because I want to see what you're doing. And if
Right.
it's cluttered with a bunch of other junk, then to me, it just looks like you promoting a bunch of other junk. And like, we were just saying a minute ago about being professional. Introduce yourself like I'm a human being. We're both human beings. You know what I'm saying? Come to us like, hey, how you doing? I see what you got going on. My name is, introduce yourself. And that's going to intrigue me. But like, okay, this person actually has some manners. You know what I'm saying? I might want to
Yes.
check them
Right.
out.
Right. And I'm telling you my other thing that I don't like, and you're gonna agree with me also, is stop taking pictures on your phone selfies. That's the problem I have. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In the club bathroom.
Go get yourself a professional camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get you a nice camera or go get you a photographer.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind using the phone, but let somebody else do it that
Yeah.
know what they're doing, got some lighting, and make it look like you can ball on a budget for a minute. I'm not mad at that because Apple got a good camera.
Hey, this thing right here shoots in 4K. You
Yeah.
dig?
You know what I'm saying? And it looks very professional. But depends if you get somebody else doing it that have
Right.
a spotlight like this. You get a little spotlight like this that comes on the phone. Have a silhouette background, not you in the club. You got somebody twerking in the background and
Smoking a blunt.
smoking a blunt. Taking shots, drunk, throwing up, all that stuff in the background. We need a silhouette picture of a nice little white background, or even a brick wall like myself, or even something like that, and have somebody else take the picture. You
Fact.
can crop it and do your thing on it, and it looks halfway decent. That's
It
called
does.
balling on the budget.
And listen, absolutely. And I think we all have been there. We've all had to ball on the budget. We all start somewhere. And even if I'll keep it all the way G with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a much better financial situation than I was a few years ago,
Yeah.
but I still budget. You get what I'm saying? Because you just never know what your next move is going to be. So like you said, you can still ball out, just do it on a budget. You can make something inexpensive look real good if you rock it the right way. Like you said, with these phones, they shoot in 4K now.
Yeah.
But it's all in how you actually shoot it. Like you said, get someone to do it for you. Have a nice background. Don't be over there taking selfies of you smoking weed and flipping birds. Nobody wants to see all that, for
No.
real.
Big stacks of money in your ear that you got your income tax with.
Your PPP loan.
You know what I'm saying? Guns all in the video.
Yeah.
All them things. And these artists be excellent artists. They have good brands. They
Right.
have good music, and I'd be like, you killing yourself. You breaking your brand down to some romper room stuff, and you're not really professional what you're doing, and that hurts. That's talent wasted, and that really gets me upset. Like this person is really got some potential, but he giving the bird on the pictures, guns, money in your ear. You got liquor and bottles and stuff like you bought. We don't need that. You can do that later on when you go to that next level.
Yeah, you don't have to fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying? Just be who you are. People are gonna respect you more, and they're gonna respect your journey and your come up. When they see when you keep it all the way real, and people know when it's real and when it's not.
Yeah, no doubt. And what's another thing that you don't like that up and coming artists do? Even producers. Let's go to producers. What do
Okay.
you like about producers that come to you, tag you, or go in your DM? What's the the things that you don't like about what they do?
Well, with producers, what I think is, I actually co-manage a producer and I work with a lot of them. And we have these types of discussions all the time because producers want to know, how do I get placements? First of all, you can't go straight to the top as a producer. If you're an unknown producer, don't be out here spamming Drakes and Lil Wayne's, and because they're never going to see it, 1. So I don't like that. Like what you need to do is find some of these up and coming artists, and get them on your radar. And then once you get them on your radar, you can start to build a relationship with them. And then once you build a relationship with them, you can start to and maybe check out some of their music. Don't just send them a bunch of random beats. Don't do that. Like if you tap into a couple artists, maybe check out some of their songs so you kind of got an idea for their vibe, and don't send them 50 beats. Send them maybe like 3 or 4 bangers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And kind of have it catered a little bit around their sound, and then you can expand out from there, so what I would say I don't like
Mm-hmm.
is when you try, if you're an upcoming producer and nobody knows who you are, but you trying to go straight to the top. Like, you can't do that. You got to work your way up. There's levels to this.
Right.
And then the other thing is, don't overload. Nobody is trying to sit down and listen to 50 beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe pick out, like I said, 3 or 4 bangers and send it to them. And you got a better chance when they open that email and they see there's only a couple beats in there. You got a better chance of them listening to it versus you send them a Dropbox with 50 or 100 beats in it.
Right. Definitely. Awesome. Yeah, and what I do when I tell people on my show, like now I'm gonna say on the show now, if you're a producer and you have production, I play instrumentals on my show, like I'm playing right now. Shout out to Castle Money Beats. You know what I'm saying? Out of Cali, they doing boom bap beats. They doing their thing. They did beats from Benny the Butcher to Conway to 38 Special. They work with a lot of up and coming artists too. And I get a whole bundle for them because we have a conversation and they come to me like, yo, I got these beats. I know you got that podcast. I would love my music to be played on your show as a background or something like that. Cool. Then we had that conversation. We didn't have a connection. I'm looking for that email and then I can listen. I don't like when people just send me beats saying, oh, I'm a producer. Check me out. Send me like 3 beats. But then he like, you ain't even check my show of what music I'm playing. I'm an MC too. I rap. I spit bars. You didn't even check out what type of style I rap. I don't do trap. I don't do mumble rap. I'm a grimy boom bap MC, and I let them know like, yo, cuz, number one, I don't know you. Number two, I ain't feeling them beats. Them beats is alright for another type of source that I could work with, but you didn't talk to me about, you got my email through probably on this site or the website, or
Right.
you might see it on my Instagram and you want to email me. Okay, cool. But how you present yourself.
Absolutely. It could make or break it. Like you said, they didn't even check out your platform to see if what they're sending you is going to fit with
Right.
what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody's doing a gospel show, don't be over there sending them trap beats. Just like check out their platform and see what they got going on.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Like, it
You know what I'm
just
saying?
makes sense. You got a better chance.
Gangsta gospel. You go gangsta on Jesus? What you doing?
Right. Just make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense.
Definitely. And when I tell producers too, I tell them find an artist around your area that's really serious about their craft, that's really into what they're doing, build a relationship, and be behind that artist.
Facts.
Create a sound with that artist.
Right.
And grow together. Do a couple of mixtapes together, do a couple of singles. You can if you're a producer and you want to learn how to even DJ, to be their DJ when they performing, that's cool. Build it up. You know what I mean?
I
That's
agree.
how you get your name out there, and that's how you can put 2 brands together. I know a lot of people that did that. You know what I mean? Like, Cool and Dre, they was behind Fat Joe for a while to get their name
Right.
out there. You know what I mean? They was behind up and coming artists that was coming up, doing beats for.
Right.
Dalinger behind Griselda. They created a sound together with Benny, Conway, and Westside, and they built that sound together. And now he got popping. Now other MCs is looking at him do beats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how you do it. That's how I tell these producers, get behind an artist that's serious and that's willing to invest into themselves as much as you want to invest into your brand and make that happen. That's how
Yeah.
you do it.
Yes, and on the flip side of that, real quickly, all my artists out there, build a rapport and a relationship with the producer. Stop going to YouTube and downloading free beats expecting to get rich off of it, because it don't work that way. I ain't gonna get too deep into it because that could be a whole nother show.
Yeah, right.
All I'm gonna say is build these solid relationships with these producers and have them either make sure you're leasing the beat. If you
Right.
can't afford to outright buy it and own the exclusive, at least lease it. Don't go download some random beat on YouTube. Never
Yeah.
meet the producer and not giving that producer credit. That's not
Yeah.
cool. You'll never make it in this business that way, period.
Yeah. Definitely. Awesome. And I tell cats all the time, if you do that, like I had a couple of beats that I met and built relationship with, like DJ Payne One. I downloaded the beat, I recorded it, and I liked it. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna re-record it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the drops out of there. I'm gonna hit him up, and I hit him up on a comment on YouTube. He gave me his email, and we've been kicking it ever since. I dropped him he told me, gave me a little price for the exclusive rights for it, and then I built from there. But I always built the relationship with him every time I did that. But now I can pretty much take a beat off of YouTube if he don't mind. His credit. Only thing he does is report it to his ASCAP publishing.
Right.
I do my end, and then I release it, and he let me do what it do because we built that relationship.
Fact.
It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard at all. But as like you say, that's another show.
We could talk about. We could do a whole show just around that.
You know what I'm saying? We won't go right into what you got going on with your podcast, the magazine.
Yeah.
What's new? What's the update?
Man, so I'll just give a quick history for those who don't know. I started in this business a little over a decade ago, and of course, big shout out to OG Bigger Rankin. Shout out to Kingpin, aka Rap Juggernaut. That's who really helped me come into this business. But around 2012, I started Industry's Most Wanted. Industry's Most Wanted started as a mixtape series. I put out about 36 mixtapes under the brand. I also started doing a weekly showcase under Industry's Most Wanted. So I was really, hitting heavy on building the brand, but it's always been my radio show. I think the Joker had mentioned early on that I've worked from New York on down. I initially started in radio 10 years ago. Shout out to DJ Clue. I was on Desert Storm Radio for 3 years, and that's kind of how I got my notoriety as a radio personality in the radio world. But as of lately, I've been really working on expanding the Industry's Most Wanted brand, and a lot of that came from us being a pandemic. The COVID was an ugly thing, but it also really brought the hustler out in a lot of people, including myself, just trying to figure out other ways to expand and do stuff. Of course, we have a recording studio here in Atlanta. We got a beautiful studio, Art Studios, that I do a majority of my interviews at for people that want to come in person. But during the pandemic, I built my home studio, my home podcast studio. I can broadcast from the radio here. I bought all the radio audio interfaces and everything. That way I can do everything here. So now I'm doing very similar to like what you're doing. I'm doing virtual interviews, video interviews, because I really think that even a lot of this got heavier during the pandemic. It's not going nowhere. It's the new wave. It's the thing that's going to carry us for the next several years, is doing exactly what we're doing right now. A lot of people don't even have to leave their house to be able to make money and reach and touch the whole world. And that's what we're doing right here, right now.
Yeah. And I was with the radio at the time, and we did it. And
I'm gonna grab one of my magazines too, real quick. I should have had it prep, but it won't take me but a second. You keep talking. It's like right over here.
Okay. Definitely. We did the radio when we interviewed you, and we was hitting like over 175K listeners, over 22 countries. There you go. Yeah, that's the Rhyme Report magazine doing a thing. That's fire. Make sure y'all. We're gonna have all the content up in there for y'all. So y'all can definitely in tune of what y'all. That's fire right there, no doubt. That's gangster. Yeah.
Y'all want to see that?
Yeah, that's the eye candy. Yes. Models.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Awesome. Yeah. So and we hit over 22 countries. We was averaging like 100 to 175K listeners.
Wow, that's amazing. Congrats, bro. Like, for real.
Yeah, we did that on a Blog Talk Radio, and we was number one the whole quarantine out of that whole site. And we had 3 platforms. We had a sports show, my music show, and we had a educational show on there that Emmanuel Kulo who is also a book writer, and he just came out with his second book right here. I Black Pharaoh. You know what I mean? That's that joint. It's platinum. Let me go ahead and
Hard. That's
let me,
real though.
you know, yeah. It's a gold edition.
I see that. I see it. Bling bling.
You know what I mean? And it's his second book, and he's promoting his book. He started the media, and when he started the media, he wanted to do the same platform we did on the radio with that, and then he got everything licensed. He got everything doing what he do, and he gave me a deal. He gave me a little deal, contract deal, and
So
now I'm here with the Underground Lounge, and we came a long way since the last interview with you, and then I've been always follow you, always do what to do, always support when I can come
I
on
appreciate that.
and watch the show. You know what I mean? And shout out to all my other podcast people, Big
Yeah.
Seven,
Yeah.
Big
Seven,
Seven,
that's
my boy. Uh, Shout out to there's a couple other podcasters that I've been checking out. My man Chris G, straight from the underground. He has his radio show podcast up there in upstate New York. You know what I
Oh.
mean? And I support a lot of podcast, radio, magazines, that type too. And and I can tell people I'm a podcast that support podcasts. And a lot of people's not doing that. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. Like I'm like that too. You know, big shout out to my girl Lala. She's got a really dope platform out here in Atlanta called the Progress Report. And her and I, like as two women in this business, you know, I just love her because, you know, a lot of women are petty and they don't get along. And
Yeah.
I'm not like that. If people are about their business, I'm like what you just said. You know, I support other people. And her and I always were sending clients to each other. If somebody's like, I need another place to go interview in Atlanta, okay, good. Go to the Progress Report. And same thing. She'll be like, okay, cool. Go to Industries Most Wanted. Like that's what it's
Right.
all about is supporting and uplifting other people. Why not? It ain't gonna hurt you. If anything, it might bring more business to you because they're gonna reciprocate.
That's right. That's right. And I never looked at it that way. I'm a fan. I'm always a fan first before I do what I do. Like even though I'm an artist and I'm a manager, I'm a fan with other artists. I have mentors and all that. So I'm a fan. Always been a fan first. That's been natural to me anyway. So especially living in the South for 13 years, I was seeing the building of Atlanta. I was there when the transition of hip hop came from the West Coast to the South.
Word.
2000. So I came in 2000, lived down south, worked in the clothing store, Kings and Queens clothing store out in Anderson, South Carolina. And the owner knew a lot of people in Atlanta. The Dallas Aussie used to come through. Toomp used to come through. DJ Jelly used to come through. Crime Mob used to come through. Mick Breezy used to come through. She was a regular customer coming to get her gear, coming down when I was in the store. So I know a lot of the people, the franchise boys. You know what I'm saying? I met a lot of people behind the scenes, even before they hit the next level. Even Dro. I met him before when he first got signed with T.I. He used to come through. Him and his homeboy and his brother used to come through, and they used to always show love. So it's like I was behind the scenes doing my thing and learning, being educated, taking notes.
You gotta be a student, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So that's what I did. And I'm pretty sure that's what you did when you was with Desert Storm.
Listen, absolutely. You know, it's like I'm like how kids are, like a sponge. I just take it all in, and I'm still learning. You know, like I said, I've been in this business a little over a decade, which to some people that's not that long. To me, it seems like a lifetime. But absolutely, I'm still learning because this is a always evolving business. Even just 10, 11 years ago when I came in this business. Back then when I first started, we was out all the time putting flyers on the car and stuff. People ain't really doing that kind of stuff no more. Like we was really in the streets out there hanging posters up and putting flyers out and doing that stuff. Now you got the luxury of posting it on Instagram and reaching the whole world. I didn't have Instagram when I first came in this business. Like, it was still kind of Facebook and Twitter, which are still both relevant. I still use both of them, but like Instagram really changed the game.
Yeah, it has. And also Facebook can change the game. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this live on the show. I'm gonna give y'all a free game real quick. Y'all got to go back to that.
Yes.
They got to go back to that poster hanging up. They got to go back investing in getting billboards. You got to go back to getting magazines. Get in the magazine games right here on the Ground Report. Go ahead and get you an ad. Go ahead and I'm gonna put the information up so you guys can see it. Go get you an ad, break that little bag, get you a budget. I'm telling you, that's the way it go now. Because let me tell you something with the Instagram and all them is doing now. They're pretty much limiting certain things you post up. They're limiting everything you do on Facebook and all that. Even on TikTok, they're breaking everything down. So
That's so
now you
true,
can't
bro.
do the things you can't do. They trying to break everything. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to go back to the physical with the digital. And
Absolutely.
it
It's
is
so
what it is.
true because Instagram, they are forcing you to pay them to get exposure now. Like, and I'll just break that down real quickly. Yes, it's free to get on Instagram and post something. Yes, it's free.
Right.
But just think about how much exposure you're getting now versus a few years ago. If you post something right now and you don't promote it through Instagram, your engagement's going to be probably a lot lower than what it was before because of the way the algorithm is set up. Now you post it, only about 7% of your followers see it. So it's not that they hating on you or they just aren't supporting you. They simply may not even see it coming down their timeline. So Instagram is forcing us them to promote through them, which is understandable. They want a cut of the money because we make a money off of Instagram. I eat off of social media, and you do as well. So it's like we're forced to pay them. So it's like you said, it's important to you gotta post and stuff on your social media, but don't rely on that only. You need to be out here. I know we just came out of a pandemic, and it's still kind of like spotty right now. But as much as you can, you got to be out in these streets. Shaking hands and kissing babies and networking with people and actually, getting to know people and, doing stuff like this. And, you just got to do it. You can't never get away from that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go one more question, then I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
How do you feel about ads? Giving people tips how to do ads. I've been doing marketing tips for giving them free game a little bit, how to do certain things. What tips can you bring to the table on doing ads if you want to do an ad on your video on Instagram or TikTok, or you want to put a flyer up? You know what I'm saying? Give them some basic tips. Don't give them the state. Give them the Similac of it. You know what I'm saying? Because they still babies. You know what I mean? And give them some tips of what they can do with them ads to help out with their
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a really big believer in less is more, and I'll elaborate a little bit. Like if I create a flyer or a promo video, I don't never do too much because people have a very short attention span. So if you're going to put a flyer or a promo video together or some kind of advertisement, whether it's a billboard in your city, just get to the meat and potatoes per se. You ain't got to put a whole bunch of extra stuff on there because if someone's driving down the street and you got a billboard that's got a bazillion things on it, they're not going to see any of it because your mind can't comprehend that fast. So you might want to just put who you are and your social media up there. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get that quickly because it's a billboard they're driving. That's all they're going to see. But if you're putting a flyer up or something like that, just put the essentials on there. Don't put a whole bunch of logos across the bottom and stuff that people don't necessarily need to see because when they look at it, they're not going to comprehend it and they're going to keep moving because it's like, okay, this is too much stuff for me to read through.
Right.
So, my biggest thing is just kind of less is more, keep it straight to the point. And then if they have more questions, let them ask you. You get what I'm saying? But just out the gate, when you put too much out there, people are not going to read it. They're not going to go through it. I know I'm like that. Just, I'm the type of person, I'm more of a visual rather than like, even though we have the magazines and stuff, like we always keep it 32 pages. It's not that long. You get what I'm saying? And even like our write-ups, I know you had Q Nova on your show, so I just wanted to show this real quick.
Yes.
Shout out to my girl Q Nova, you know what I'm saying? But, you can see that it's kind of short and to the point. It's not super long. Half the page is just her pictures, so
right.
Like just keep it simple.
Right.
But have what you need in there. And of course, have a way for people to be able to contact you because, of course, they may have more questions, but intrigue them to want to ask you questions, to draw them in. If you give them too much, they're going to make their own assertion of what it's about. And it may not be that at all. So, give them less is more, make them contact you. That way you guys can actually talk and explain it to them a little bit more in detail.
No doubt. Awesome. We here. Thinking of Q Nova, we're gonna end the show off with one of her singles.
Yeah, that's my
You
girl.
know, and we're gonna break it off on Q Nova. Her interview is coming up soon. And definitely, and she's doing her thing, and I love that club track. But we can't play on this platform right now because this is I'm waiting for a clean version. But I do have a clean version track that we're gonna definitely get in with her right now. Thank you for having you on the show. I'm welcome anytime on IBP.
I appreciate you. You my bro, man.
Yeah, we're gonna do what it do, and we're gonna do some things in the future. You know what I mean? IBB team, we're gonna do some things. We in one magazine already that's out of Canada. It's called Culture Shock. Shout out to him. We got a whole ad, and we're gonna be on the front page of this magazine on September, the IBP Media Group. So shout out to Culture Shock out of Canada, no doubt. And so we're gonna be doing a lot of things. So we're gonna end it off like this. You know what I mean?
Hey, I appreciate you guys.
Begin now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I appreciate you being on the show and doing what it do.
Shout out to Underground Lounge. Shout out to IBP Media. Shout out to the Joker.
No doubt. We here doing what it do. Let's go.
Sexy sounds and top music.
Live in the mix.
I'ma get it back and I'm ready to. I'ma get it back and I'm ready to. I'ma get it back and I'm ready to. Run it up.
I'ma take the bag and I'ma run it up. I'ma take the chicken, I'ma cash it out. I'ma take the bag and I'ma run it up. I'ma take the chicken, I'ma cash it out. Check up. Whip so sick, need a check up. Check up. You get into the check, throw your hands up. Check. Keep the hoes in check. I'm running with the check. Keep the hoes in check. I'm running with the check. Duffel bag full of checks. Pocket fulls from them checks. Smoke blowing out my nose. I bought it from the check. Keep a check. Listen, I don't like to write no check. Just sign it in my name. Then I'm cashing out the check. But big disrespect, I'ma put it in check. Better with your turn, cause you know that I'm next. I can get what I want. I ain't even gotta play. I'm winning. I ain't even gotta bet. I'm dead. Hold up, let me count up. No muster my cash up. Rubber band stacks don't fold up. My penny bank done rolled up. Keep a duffel bag on my shoulder. I'm camouflaged like a soldier. Switching whips, bipolar. I came up and I told you. Checks on my feet, gold on my teeth, ice on my sleeve, rock on my ring, shine like a bling. Money sit tall, off with your head. Yeah, I'm a queen. I'ma take the bag and I'ma run it up. I'ma take the check and I'ma cash it out. I'ma take the bag and I'ma run it up. I'ma take the check and I'ma cash it out. Check up. Whip so sick, need a check up. Check up. Begin to the check, throw your hands up. Check. Keep the hoes in check. I'm running with the check. Keep the hoes in check.
Yeah.
Don't sleep when you wake up.
Salute.
Eat pies, get your cake up. I see you looking fake when you make up.